Hi everyone. So, two videos today. First one's my Star Wars video, you know the title. But to preface my title, I should also say that there will be no review tonight for John Wick Chapter 2, or Lego Batman, or 50 Shades Darker. Because I live in New England, specifically Massachusetts, and we have currently experienced about 2 feet of snow in one day. So the government even declared a state of emergency. So I'm not going anywhere this evening. I will have to bump up my schedule. I got Saturday off. Nothing else. I couldn't even pick up my check today. I got to do that tomorrow. From work. So I'm just bumping everything up. I'll see John Wick tomorrow night, and Lego Batman probably Saturday night. And if I got extra time on Saturday, I'll see 50 Shades Darker on Saturday, or I'll just see 50 Shades Darker on Sunday. On Sunday and round it all out. But until then, I'm still making videos. I'm still on my normal schedule, and we're doing Star Wars for the week. And I've seen the Rogue One 3 times now. I might see it one more time with my dad because he hasn't seen it yet, assuming we have time to do so, which I would think we would. It's still making a couple million every weekend, plus overseas and all that. It's in the $1 billion. It's a worldwide hit. But after watching it 3 times, I actually came to a very interesting conclusion. That while everything is well acted, well performed, overall I really like the movie. I think it stands as my tied with the first original Star Wars. I like Force Awakens, Empire, and Return better, but it's tied as 4th. If I were to really say, it probably comes in just under the original series, original movie. But still, I love the movie. Rey is the worst female lead we've had in a Star Wars movie. Because you have, and I'm going to go on over each of them and explain my reasoning. But when I really looked at this, sat back, watched the film, I actually compared her to the other character. I'm like, no, she's not as good of a character. Well, not just as good as a character, but she's a worse character than Leia. She's a worse character than Rey, and she's even a worse character, than Padme. So let's break this down and why I think this is the case. And remember, this is all just my opinion, speculation. Opinion. And also, look, I'm not talking about the performances of the characters. I'm not saying, because if you were to ask me who's the worst performance, it's Natalie Portman as Amidala. Not because Natalie Portman's a terrible actress, because nearly everyone in that movie couldn't save those movies. So, yeah. But look, to break it down, we got to break down, when we break down why Jyn is the worst, we got to understand why the others are better. So we got to start with who I think is the best, and I think everyone thinks is the best, is Princess Leia. Why is Princess Leia considered the best female Star Wars character so far, the best lead character? Well, one, she's unlike any other space maiden, space princess, she is not a damsel in distress by any means. She is in the front. She talks back to Vader. She stands up to Tarkin, Vader. I don't think she ever met the Emperor, but I'm sure she would talk to him too. Granted, he'd probably intimidate the shit out of her. Even though she would talk back to Vader, she'd be like, "This guy could kill me in an instant." But she still has the courage, the balls, and the attitude to stand up. And then when they rescue her, after they rescue her, she takes charge of the whole mission. Because why? She's fighting for a greater cause. She's fighting for something greater than herself. It's not about them. It's about the plans and the goal and everything. They need to defeat the Empire. And just in one movie, we got all that. She redefined what it meant to be a heroine, especially a sci-fi heroine. And then we would get other tropes. I mean, you could make the argument also that Sigourney Weaver's Ripley was put on that. If you were to make a Mount Rushmore of them, Leia and Ripley are 2 of the faces on there. After that, it's a little hard. Maybe Sarah Connor for science fiction, but different video entirely. But that's just the first thing. And then in the second movie, we understand that she's tough. She had to be tough. She's a general in an army and stuff like that. But she's still a princess, and she's still a human being. She still is feeling. She still has vulnerability to her, and to a scoundrel to bring out that vulnerable side, to bring out the, emotions and love, actual romantic love that she's probably buried throughout most of her life in the Star Wars movie so far, because she's had to grow up in the Empire and individuals fighting against the Empire. So, between Empire and Return of the Jedi, we really see her come into a full-fledged encompassed character with emotion on all fronts. Well, she's serious. She's no nonsense. She does need to be saved once in a while, but it's not in the sense that she's always getting into trouble and can't defend herself. It's the fact that she just sometimes gets in over her head, or maybe she got captured, for the greater good of the scenario, and it just she sometimes needs help. It's not like she's constantly being saved. She just needs help, like everyone does sometimes. Luke needed help in Return of the Jedi. Rey and Finn both needed help. Han needs help. Vader needed help being brought back to the light. So it's a normal thing to need help. Which is why I don't like people who say, she needed people help. She's there for the brilliant because she's having people help them. No, people sometimes need help, folks. But anyway. So, yeah, there's that. So that's Leia. I mean, and overall, one last thing that I want to preface it between, it's going to be a big thing, is that Leia is still likable, too. She's got a good sense of humor. She's kind. She overall is kind. She's not, just adjusting the thing. Yeah, I got swords in the back. And Birdman and Star Trek Beyond. She's overall a kind individual. She cares very much. She's not selfish or self-centered really at all. She's cares about the overall scope of things, but she's still a good-hearted individual, and eventually has a family briefly with Han, and then that went to pot. So, yeah. Moving on. Next, I think, is the second most interesting female character, female lead in Star Wars is Rey, and I think again a lot of people would probably agree with that. Rey is essentially the female Luke Skywalker, but even then, Luke, when you really watch the original series, Luke's a bit of a whiner. Luke's like, I was just going to go to Tashi Station and pick up some power converters, but that'll lead him back home. I was like, well, we could buy our own ship for that. Who's going to pay that? I could buy it too. I don't know. He really is kind of a whiner, Luke. Whereas Rey doesn't really whine. You could make the argument she's a bit more of a Disney princess than even Leia is, because she's, I want more. When you really think about it, I mean, she's waiting for her family, which Maz, calls her. I was like, they're not coming back. Why are you doing this to yourself? They're not coming back. But that's the thing, is that she's so complex as a character, because first off, she's not evil or anything like that. She's actually a very nice individual when you really break it down. She's likable. She could defend herself too. Now this goes in the trope of, is she a Mary Sue? I don't think she's a Mary Sue. One, we don't have enough of a filmography with this character yet to call her a Mary Sue. Let's wait until at least the second movie, or eighth movie, you want to get technical. Let's wait till Last Jedi comes out to really see if she's a Mary Sue. But even in the context of The Force Awakens, I wouldn't call her a Mary Sue. Yeah, she does a lot of stuff, but we don't understand that she's Force sensitive. She's probably a lost Force user that's been found again. And give me one second, I'm just getting rid of something on my. There we go. She's probably a lost Force user, so she's rediscovering her power, and she's probably someone of great importance. Why she's very like a Seneca coming of Anakin, something like that, a chosen one, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. But she's still not Mary Sue, because she completely gets owned by Kylo. And the first time they meet, she, give me one second. She gets, she's on the losing side of the fight between her and Kylo the second time. There's a couple other moments, like, while she can defend herself, she's not like invincible or anything like that. Like she couldn't take on a Rathtar or anything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's not a huge amount of like non-Mary Sue moments in there, like moments where she's not just on the ball. But it's I like flying the ship. Yeah, she instinctively knew how to fly, but she's more or less a pilot to begin with. Even then, she had trouble with the ship originally. And yeah, just if I can think of one other one right up top of my head, I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I mean, I can understand where she was started Mary Sue, but again, she got her ass handed to her a few times. She's not vulnerable or superstar or anything like that, but she's got room to grow as an individual, and that's the thing. There's growth room in there. She's got flaws, not necessarily in her ability, but in her personality too. She's talking about, and now they're technically a Mary Sue character. It's like, no, you can't go, Finn. I won't let you. And then she's just like, running away from this shit. No, the Force. No, screw the Force. No. It's like, yeah, no, that's no. You keep running away from something, huh? So I mean, and what else did I say? She still struggles to overcome problems, even though she still overcomes them. Um, and even though she's an innocent, she still felt the need to do the right thing in the long run. So I mean, Ray's got so much growth room to her, and yeah, I know we're getting to Jin in a second, but and yeah, I'm leading up to Jin. Um, but Jin's only got one movie, so to be fair, she's only got one movie. But Ray's only got one movie right now, and we can still go off of Ray. Then Padme. Now this is the one I know a lot of people would argue against. Like, no way, Jin's better character than Padme. Is she now? Okay, so let's look at Padme. Let's be fair. We're not talking about the acting. We're talking about who she is as a character. Now, yes, she fell in love with a kid who was pretty younger than her. Well, how old did they say that? I know Jake Lloyd was 11, I think, at the time. I think he's 11 in the movie too, and I think she's ranked around 16, maybe 18 at most in episode 1, which means there's probably about a 5 to 7 year age gap between them. Okay, that's not huge, but that's still, yeah, especially when here's the thing, you met this kid, and I think they said it was like 10 years between episode 9 or episode 1 and 2. So Padme would be in her mid-20s, and Anakin would just, assuming it's 11 to 26, he'd be just going into his 20s, she'd be in her mid-20s. But you met this guy as a kid. That's kind of creepy. Also, you really didn't do anything, even when you saw the conflict in him, to try to help him along his way. You inadvertently caused the downfall of the Jedi and the rise of the Empire. Inadvertently. It's not really her fault, per se. It is a bit more of Anakin's fault. But then, and the whole is like, I truly, deeply love you. First off, horrible dialogue, but we're not talking about that. Just to preface it, my previous statement, he was 11 when you met him, if not maybe younger. Or you're at least 5 to 7 years older than he was at the time. That's creepy, lady. I'm sorry. But other than that, I mean, when you really look at her, she still has moments of just being a person. Of just being a normal individual, even in wartime. She's still able to defend herself. She's not. I mean, she's a bit more of a damsel in distress than, say, Leia or Rey is, and even Jin. I'll definitely say Jin's not a damsel in distress. I'm gonna give her that, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But she's not. She's probably the biggest, but she can still take on like soldiers and stuff like that. Granted, she's the weakest among them in terms of the female. And you could tell she still felt guilt over like a lot of what was transpiring between her, Anakin, and especially in episode 3, like the pain that was going through them. And she's still constantly trying to help the galaxy, either as Queen Amidala or as just the Senator Amidala. So she's still really trying her best to be a part of something. Now let's get to Jin. Jin which still puts her as a likable character. One of the biggest issues I have with Jin is when you really look at it, is not likable. As a kid, sure. I mean, she's a kid, but even then, as a kid, we barely see her. When we really see Jin, or watch Jin throughout most of the movie, she is not really likable at all. I mean, she's not evil or anything, but she's, how old did they say? She was 16 when Saw dropped her off, when Saw abandoned her, or left her for whatever. I can't remember how long years they said it had been. I'm going to guess that she's also in about her 20s, like her mid. So let's say 10 years in the past. She's about 26. She still has the attitude of a girl, of just a hurt teenager. Not the fact that, and I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to be angry at someone like Saw or even her dad, but she, throughout the entire movie, has that attitude up until they go and get the Death Star plans. And I say this because when you really watch her, and this is the big, we're not going with the whole she can't defend herself. She can really defend herself. She was a soldier, for God's sake, in Saw Gerrera's army of all things. When you really look at her, though, I mean, when you really break it down, okay, you start off with her, getting, enlisted by the rebels. They go to Jeddah. They see Saw Gerrera. throughout that entire bit, she's only caring about herself. She's not caring about helping the galaxy at all. No, look, I understand. You've been through some crap. I'm not going to fault you for that. But even Saw even goes like, you don't care about the cause. You don't care about maybe bringing down the embers. Like, you can stand to see the Imperial flag hanging high. It's like, it's not a problem if you don't look up. I'm like, she just gave up on the universe, which is fine for some characters. But look, I'm going to use Logan as an example. Logan and Wolverine in Hugh Jackman in the Logan movie coming up is pretty much, from what we can gather, someone who's hidden away from the world just because of all the pain and stuff that's been going on. We don't know the full history of what's going on. We'll find it in the movie. But he's still cool, interesting character in that regard. What do we know about Jyn? Her father's the guy who helped build the Death Star. He left her for her own safety. She was went to Saw. He left her for her own safety. Then she's in a prison labor camp. And now she's just jaded against the world. There's nothing likable there. But beyond that, then she says, like, no, I don't want to do it. And then it's like, here, watch the message. Oh, my father's alive. Okay, I want to help the rebellion now. Fair enough. You know what? If you want to get back into doing that, that's fine. But don't start belittling people for their orders and then going against the orders. And you know what I'm talking about. This is the big scene that really makes me dislike her character, and what makes me honestly think she's the worst character, a female lead among the four. When she confronts Cassian about the whole possible assassination attempt on her father, and he says, like, I had a chance to pull the trigger. I didn't do it. Sometimes we're given orders we don't necessarily want to follow, but we have to. It's like, you're no better than a stormtrooper. It's like, I've been in this. You're not the only one who lost everything. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. We just decided to do something about it. And then she just goes, you can't talk your way out of this one. And it's like, and he makes the words like, I don't have to. And anytime I watch the scene, anytime I see the movie, I get angry at her here. Like, you have no right to question this man whatsoever. You chose to leave. You chose to abandon the rebellion, the freedom. You chose not to fight against the Empire. And then all of a sudden your dad comes back. You're like, no, this is important. No, we were supposed to do this. You lied to me. Like, you can't talk your way. It's like, no, you can't talk your way out of this. It's a perfect analog is when Magneto confronted Professor X and Days of Future Past, and it's like, Banshee, Angel's like, where were you? They were all brothers and sons. Where were you, Jyn? Hiding on a planet? You abandoned us all. There you go. That's a perfect metaphor. It's like, you abandoned me, Dad, and all that. It's like, my dad was like, you did. It's like, no, you abandoned us all, Jyn. You don't have the right to berate anyone. Not a single person. And anytime I watch this, I'm like, you didn't grow up at all. And don't get me wrong, I understand. And he's right, too. She's in shock to a degree. And she's trying to find some place to put it. But unfortunately, the way she's handling that is not the way she should be handling that. It's also just, she failed at handling that. She doesn't seem to grasp the concept of committing to something. To the Fallen Heirs. Saw did it. The Rebellion does it. She did it for a while, but then, when he abandoned, like, nope, I'm done. And to be fair, again, she was 16. But don't come crying to other people. And yeah, she tried to take out your dad. Again, okay. But don't come crying to individuals like, you did this. It's like, how dare you at all? No, don't try to be that person. You have no leg to stand on in this argument. You really don't. And I don't know if that's bad writing. Honestly, I don't think it's bad writing, honestly. I didn't think that scene was written badly at all. It's not delivered badly at all. I think it's the writing of the character that they gave Jyn in that. And they gave Jyn the character of an emotional teen, despite clearly being in her 20s, being a young woman. And that's the thing. That's right. Yeah, she goes on to help stop the Empire, get the Death Star plans, and ultimately, save the day. But it didn't come from a place of purpose to begin with. It just came from the fact that, oh, my dad's alive. I should help now. Oh, you try to take out my dad. For shame on you. You're no better than a stormtrooper. Oh yeah, what are you exactly? What are you? You're just a girl who went hiding, who'd just rather hide. He's like, no, I want to stop. He's like, oh, no, you want to save the galaxy now because your dad is back in the picture? No, we've been doing this for a long time. You walked out on it. You can't just choose. It's not something you can turn on and off. You need to make a choice and a commitment and stay with that. And she didn't. And then she just comes back and says, no, you know, it's okay. We're gonna save the Woods Galaxy. No, just stop now, please. So I mean, and that's the thing. She's not likable. She's not interesting that much, and she really is self-centered. It's about her. It was never until the very end about the galaxy. It was just about how everything was affecting her. I know some people like that too, and it's irritating to deal with that. So overall, yeah, that's why I think Jin is the worst female star or main character we've had. But I mean, let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, fine. I mean, it's entirely my opinion what I'm saying right now. So, but I have a YouTube channel, so screw you. And no, I'm just kidding. And most people who sit and watch this probably have some sort of YouTube channel. Well, an account. A channel is a different thing entirely. But anyway. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I'll be back in a little bit with my magic video this week. My magic video, just to get back in the swing of things, is going to be another top 10. It's going to be my top 10 Black Blue Demeter cards. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. And as I said, there will be no review tonight. I'll just bump up my review schedule. See a movie tomorrow night, then Saturday, and Sunday. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you folks next